Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden, from Cartoon Apocalypse, and welcome back to another episode of Leakbusters. And before I get the comments saying, oh man, this is all fake, yes, it is all fake, and I'm here to explain why this is fake and prove to you that it is indeed fake. So don't assume that I'm trying to share leaks, I'm trying to debunk the leaks. But before I get any further, I do want to mention that this episode of Leakbuster is sponsored by GAOMON, and basically they sent me over their drawing tablet, and I'm going to be using that to fully demonstrate how to recreate the leak towards the end of the video. So if you are interested in that, please stay till the end. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the leak in question. So as you can see here, this is a photo of Cat Noir with Ladybug, but Ladybug is actually Alia. So again, like I said, this is fake. Let's start off by pointing out some of these weird little oddities. First of all, Alia's neck looks really weird, it just looks unnatural with how the neck kind of gets cut off with the suit. Next, let's look at her hair on the shoulder. I don't think I've ever seen Alia's hair on her shoulder. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've really seen her like that. And plus, it really does look drawn in there, it doesn't look natural. And then the same thing can be said with her hair up at the top coming down from her forehead. I don't think I've ever seen her hair look like that. So those are the biggest main points to why this isn't necessarily real. I guess I should also mention the mask looks a little bit weird up at the top there, but I don't know, maybe that was just a weird rendering error, who knows. But the other ones really do prove that this was altered in some way. And then of course this image has its obligatory weird blur effect to it, so yeah. So after a lot of searching and searching, because a lot of work goes into searching for this stuff, I have found the image that was originally used to alter this photo. And no, I did get some comments and you guys were like, oh well, maybe he created the leak, and yeah, I promise you I did not create the leak. Man, you see, I can't even believe you guys would start to say that. So let's go ahead and hop over to Photoshop and recreate this leak. So let's start by dragging in the original image, and you can see it is a square because I believe it originated on Instagram, I'm not entirely sure. But here we can see that, yeah, Cat Noir looks pretty real, and I don't think he was altered in any way. But here's the thing, as I was trying to figure out what episode Cat Noir originally came from, I had some trouble. So what I did is I really thought about it and really looked into this. So I looked at some reference Ladybug images and found that this mask actually, or not specific, just the dots on the mask match up pretty well with where the dots on the mask usually are. And then I looked down here and I was like, wow, this actually looks pretty accurate compared to some other reference images. So my guess was, or my assumption was, is that it wasn't that the creator of this leak took like a pen and drew on this red. What my assumption was is that Ladybug was actually here originally and they took out Marinette and then just added in Alia. That was my assumption, and to back that up, we got this. This just doesn't look natural, and if they had covered it up, this would have not been there. So yeah, that was what I concluded, so then I just had to find an image with Cat Noir and Ladybug standing next to each other. And so, like I said, it took me a while to find this image, I'm gonna be honest, but here is the original image. So if we go ahead and swap these two here, we can actually see that if we put this guy over here, whoa, would you look at that, it's very similar. So I went ahead and fit this image on here pretty accurately, I think. And if we go ahead and turn this on and off, you can see that this is the exact image here. Now one thing I did notice, which I thought was weird, is that Cat Noir's eyes glow a little bit more in the leak than it does here. I don't know why that is, the leak creator may have added those, but who knows? It doesn't really matter though. And another thing I noticed is that if you turn this on, this is flipped a little bit, it's rotated to the right, it looks like, and that's just simply because it needed to match the face that they used. And I'm gonna be completely honest here. I did not find the original Alia image for this. Why is that, you may ask? Well, because there are thousands of pictures of Alia, and there was no way I was gonna find this exact one used in this photo. So instead what I did is I googled Alia without glasses, and I found this piece of fan art, I think. Well, it's a screenshot and then just kind of without her glasses, so I just found this on the internet. Now, I don't think this is the same image. If it is, that's purely coincidence. I don't think it is because the mouth looks a little bit different, but who knows? Maybe it is the same image. I don't think we'll ever be able to tell precisely, simply because this is too blurry to tell. But I do think that it's pretty similar. It has a fairly similar rotation of the head, so we just really got to rotate it a little bit like this, and we're kind of heading on the right path here. So we're going to start off by rasterizing the layer, and then I'm going to use my handy dandy tablet and just draw around Alia's head here, and it makes it so much easier to have a tablet. And then I can inverse this selection and then press the delete key, and boom, now we are instantly ready to go. Now actually I have to undo that there because I actually need some more of this stuff. So I'm just going to use Alt and then add in more of that hair because it drops down a little bit further than that. And then I'll also do the same thing over here. Then I'll go ahead and delete that there, and now we have a little bit more hair added to our selection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the eraser tool and just erase it off like this, and this is why I wanted to have GAOMON sponsor this video, because I can really demonstrate how someone like me would use this in my everyday situation. And you see, as a YouTuber, I often have to make thumbnails, and this will help a lot because I can easily go in here and simply just erase stuff like this, and it helps a whole bunch. So if you do stuff like even just like video or photo editing stuff similar to this, then I would highly recommend it because it just saves a whole lot of time. And again, I will go into more details later on at the end of this video, so if you are interested in that, you can stay tuned. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm not being super accurate or precise here because really I don't have to be. In the end, I'm going to be adding some weird filters to it, so you're not likely going to see all my rugged edges. And not to mention, I'm not really trying to like make the leak look super accurate. I'm just simply trying to recreate it to show you sort of what the artist did. So there we have it. Now we have Alia's head sort of just taken away from the background there, and there's a little bit left over here, so I'll actually just go ahead and get rid of that real quick. And there we go. Now we truly have Alia's head rasterized here. And I'm going to go ahead and hide the original image because I don't really think we need it anymore. We sort of know what we're going for, so now I just need to place this on simply. Before we do that though, I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'm going to simply draw around here and then do a select inverse and then delete all of that, because I do want to, you have to choose the rasterize layer tab, and then I'm going to delete. Now you might not, you might be thinking, oh well, that didn't do anything, but actually it did. It took out that. So now what I can do is I can hide this and then simply do the exact same thing and just take out this little area here. Now right here, you can see that the circle, or like the center of the circle, is really, it should be taking out this whole area here, but it's not. And that's because I'm going really light, and that shows you how much pressure sensitivity this has. Now, I will explain exactly how much it is at the end of this video, but you can see that you can really get precise with how accurately you press down on. And you can see I'm just doing very precise little motions here. And as I increase, like for example, if I go very slowly into here, then I can press down harder. And that just shows you sort of the pressure sensitivity of this tablet. It's really good. So there we have it. Now I've rasterized this little image here. Now I know it's not perfect whatsoever, but it'll do the job just fine. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and place this on, because that is the next step in recreating this leak, because you can't have the leak without the mask. And there we go, we placed it on. So now what I need to do is accurately put this head on to where it looks pretty reasonable. Now I guess I should maybe turn that on and then turn down the opacity on this, so that way I can sort of, I know this image is likely not the same image, so I just kind of got to guesstimate here. But it's pretty similar, so I think we'll be fine. That looks pretty accurate, actually. Granted, it is turned down pretty low. Let's see. That's pretty close, actually. If we compress this a little bit, you know what? I would say that looks pretty good. Now, if we take a look at this now, we have a pretty, I wouldn't say a pretty accurate looking image, because this obviously has some flaws, but it's looking very similar to what the leak did. So now I'm just going to continue to adjust this to make it look more like it's on Alia's face. And just with that little adjustment, I think it looks a lot better. And I think one of the reasons why this original image has such a yellowy tint is because it hides the fact that Alia's face in this image is a lot more yellow than this image should be. Because, as you can tell, it just doesn't look like they're in the same image. So they combat that by adding this little grainy effect. Now let's go ahead and draw in a little box here. And this is going to represent our little just background here. So everything inside of this box is what is featured in the original leak. So it goes down to about here. This extends out a little bit more. And I guess it is rotated, so maybe I should rotate that, match it up a little bit more. And basically the reason why I'm doing this is so that I don't have to deal with this stuff because it's not actually in the original image. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is duplicate this bottom layer again, and I'm actually going to remove everything but this little top area here, and then maybe some parts back here, because what I'm going to do is end up putting more hair back there. So if I go ahead and just do a little thing like that, do a select inverse, don't forget to rasterize the layer, delete. Now I can actually go in here and use my eraser tool and erase out this background. Now I just did something very bad. I did not remove the background image because I was confident in my abilities. And now what I can do is I can, so how do I want to do this? I guess I could go like this, right? Select the image, create a new layer. Actually, I'm not going to be able to create a new layer. How am I going to do this? I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll go like this on the original head layer, then I'll duplicate that, and then I'll drag this layer underneath this shoulder layer, and then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do a fill, and then I will do a content aware fill. And you see, that didn't do too much that I wanted it to, but that's actually okay because it's not really meant to be super accurate here. And then what this tells me is that I need to go in because I did not remove the background and make this look super nice. So gotta go in here and edit this a little bit. So obviously it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. And what I am going to do is actually remove this because I don't need that. You know what, maybe instead what I'll do is I'll Command J this, and then what that'll do is that'll give me an exact copy of this. I'll go ahead and hide this, and then what I can do is I can actually go ahead and do the smudge, and I did not drag it. Oh wait, no, I just didn't select the other thing. And then if I smudge it like this, boom, there we go. Now it's sort of more accurate, I would say. Then what else I can do is I can smudge it like this, and then bring it down and then remove it from the background. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking the look of this so far. So what I'll do is I will go in here, remove this, remove some of these parts here. Then what I need to do is go back in here and remove some of this shoulder part because I did not get all of it that I needed to. And I got pretty lazy there at the end. So now let's go ahead and do this thing that they did for some reason. I don't know why they did this because it looks pretty weird, but actually let me get a reference image up here. Okay, now I can sort of see what this is looking like. If we go in like this, let's see, how do I want to do this? Because I don't want to take off too much of the neck here to make it look unnatural. Okay, I think that's probably enough. They curved it out a little bit here at the end, and then for some reason it just goes like this, and I'm going to try to recreate the leak as much as possible, so I'm just going to show you that. But doesn't that look weird? That just looks weird to me. But anyway, I'm not the one who made the leak, so I shouldn't really be commenting on it. So there we go. Now we have fixed that, and honestly, looks pretty good so far. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just take an image here, or take a color pick, not an image, and then I'm going to simply just draw in the little bangs that we saw in the previous image, because once we blur it and stuff, you're not going to be able to tell that I just took a single image. Or not an image, a color. Why did I say image again? Okay, looking at the reference here. The reference is off screen, by the way. Looks like there's another strand there. And I will pull in, actually, I'll just go ahead and do it now. There, here's the reference image. I'll just put this up here. This will probably be better anyway. There's the reference image that I'm using. So you can see, it goes down. I guess it's not perfect. I'll go ahead and fix that a little bit because it is not perfect. It goes down pretty low, actually. And I guess, how picky do I want to be? I'll be a little bit more picky for your guys' sake. How about that? There we go. I think this is going to look pretty good. And again, I'm not trying super hard on this because I am just trying to recreate the leak, show you how they did it. So there we go. Now we've created this. Honestly, again, I don't know why they did this. And I guess I should probably go ahead and do the same thing here. That color looks fine. And you can see here that it does start off lighter and then gets sort of darker as it goes down. So I guess I'll replicate the same thing. I will also, okay, I guess that was just part of the original thing. Let's go ahead and do, well, how much of it? Yeah, see, that looks kind of weird. Now I'm starting to question whether or not this was the actual thing that they used, because it looks pretty similar. Okay, actually, this goes down a lot like this. So it's like that, and then it goes down further here, and then starts to curve back up and connects right about here. And you can actually see right here, there's a little curve. And what do you know? Looks like there's a little curve right here. And so what we can infer from this is that I got really close to the same image that they used in their original thing. So what are the odds that I took the exact same image? That would be pretty crazy. Okay, and then theirs does go a little bit like this, and they got some nice little hair strands in there. Then it just continues to do some more hairy things. I don't know, something like that. Again, not really going for perfectness, but I guess one thing that I could do is do the patch tool on this guy. And you know what, that's actually going to cause me issues. Let's go ahead and do it like that. Then I can go like that. And whoa, what do you know? Let's go ahead and do this now. Patch tool. This will make it look a little more like the hair. Patch tool magic. Actually, maybe it won't do it if I select something weird like this. Sweet. Okay, now we have more hairy looking hair. And I guess it doesn't really go darker, but I don't think we're all being really too picky here. So now what I'm actually going to do is, well, the thing is, I didn't orient it the exact same way. You can actually see a hint of blue here, which is probably still from Marinette. But you know what? I'm going to take the extra step and try to remove Marinette's hair from this background. So what I need to do is I'm going to try selecting Marinette's hair. And then I'm just going to see what a content-aware fill looks like. Because what do you know? It actually looks pretty good. Now I'm going to select this weird cat noir face and try to fix that. And, well, this is off the screen. And this, I can simply just do a quick content aware and hopefully fix that. Looks pretty good. We'll just pretend like this little red spot's an apple. And there we go. Looks like the eyes are a little bit different in this one. And that could simply just be because I took a different image. Like, there's multiple different seconds, milliseconds in animation, and that, I guess that could explain this too, is they just stopped at a different millisecond than I did, and that's why their eyes are a little bit different. So that's probably explaining that. So you know what, I think I'm pretty close to being done. Also, if you needed more proof for some reason that these two weren't the same image, you can also see here that this window looks very similar to this window here. So, am I done? Who cares? It's pretty, well, I guess, because no layers are selected. What do you mean? I tried to select layer. There we go. Actually, that was the wrong layer. Let's go ahead and try to just get rid of this guy here. And you might be like, oh, that didn't do anything, but it did. It was because I duplicated that, so once I delete this, it did not go away. Why aren't you deleting? What am I forgetting? Oh, duh, because that's on the other thing. That's Ladybug's thing, not Rena Rouge's thing. What was I thinking? There we go. Now, content aware. Actually, that's too much for the content aware. Now we can do a content aware, because that is ladybugs, not Rena Rouges. There we go. Looks like nothing was there. And this, I'll just leave it be, because why not? So now I found this grainy TV thing sort of just on the internet. So I'm going to apply an overlay filter, and hopefully we can get the image to look a little weird. Okay, so I tried this first one here, but it's too big. Like the grains are too big. So I'm gonna try this other one and see if this one's any better, because the other one didn't do too well. I guess that is better, I guess. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty similar. Again, difference in grain filter, so it's going to look a little bit different. And then they may have used a different program, so the overlay, this divide overlay might have looked a little bit different on their screen. So yeah, that's sort of why it looks a little bit different here. But as you can see, we have successfully recreated the leak. So this just proves to you that this was a fake image. And this image recreation was greatly improved and helped by the GAOMON tablet that I used. So let's go ahead and hop right into the face cam and show you sort of what this tablet's all about. So like I said at the beginning of this video is sponsored by GAOMON. And they went ahead and sent me this GAOMON PD1161 that you saw featured in the video. So this little end segment here is going to be talking about what I got in the box, what it's used for, and why you might want to consider getting it. So obviously I got the tablet, then you get this pen and the little pen stand, and actually inside this little pen stand you actually get more like pen replacements. Then you get your cables, and then there's also another cable that you plug into the wall, except for that's plugged into the wall right now, so I don't have it to show off. And then here's the box. Very nice box, and then there are some stuff inside the box like a manual and just, you know, basic stuff like that, but that's pretty much what you get in the box. Now you'll notice that you don't get the stand, and that's probably the biggest negative about this that I've found, and a lot of people have sort of noticed that. But really, you can find another stand on Amazon for maybe $10 to $20, depending on your price range. And obviously you can get more expensive ones, but if you're just going for the budget sort of stuff, then you can find a good stand on Amazon for pretty cheap. So now let's go ahead and talk about some specs. So the size of this tablet is 11.6 inches. The resolution is a full 1920 by 1080, so that's pretty standard. The LCD type is an IPS LCD, which is actually better than some monitors that you might have. There are 8 express keys that you can customize. And as you can see on this chart, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can read off. Another big thing that I should mention is 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity, so that's pretty good. So as always, if you want to look into this further, the link to all the Amazon and website will be down in the description, so I highly recommend that you go check that out. And here's why you might want to consider this. If you are a full-time artist and you're doing art stuff for a living, no, don't get this. I wouldn't recommend any company other than Wacom, because honestly, that's the industry standard. You're not going to get much better than Wacom. And if you're doing this for a living, you're going to want the highest quality stuff. This tablet right here, this is for more of beginners or people who are maybe, you know, graphic designers, or maybe like people who edit little photos, because you need a little pen where, because like in the previous videos of these leaks, Leakbuster videos, I was using the mouse and it wasn't very precise, but with this tablet, I can get much more precise, make a lot better strokes, and overall it just looks a lot cleaner when you use something like a tablet. So this is good for people who might need to use it every once in a while, or maybe just have an art hobby. But if you don't need the highest end kind of stuff, then I would highly recommend this because it's a really good price for what you get. So yeah, thanks again to GAOMON for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it, and definitely go check it out if you are interested. Links and everything will be down in the description below. But anyway guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you did enjoy, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Or he does. What do you think you're doing?
Good thing you have friends in high places. Hold on.